So, TK, how are you?
How's it going, brother?
Like you.
Good to see you, man.
So for those of you who don't know, we were actually in class together.
Right?
Studied something completely different.
Yeah.
We did engineering, guys. Back in the day, adverts.
Yeah.
And that's how we met, we became friends, and now completely different backgrounds.
Dude, it's such a full circle moment, right? I could never have imagined. With you, I knew you liked cars, right? But I'd never think anyone would leave an engineering degree to pursue it altogether. So you're kind of an inspiration in the early days, you know. I was like, oh, this guy's followed his dreams, and I really like how you're running your business. But yeah, it's even crazy to me that we're here talking about cars today. But
imagine.
I'm excited, man.
So, just tell us quickly, what are you doing now?
I'm the founder of a company called CarShareNova. Easy way to explain it is an Airbnb for cars. We basically allow people to rent out their cars directly through a platform to other people. So the way you'd book an Airbnb. So interestingly, the name CarShareNova is a combination of the words car share and Casanova, which is the legendary philanderer, but it represents a non-commitment to cars.
Yeah,
Basically, the idea that cars should be shared, you know, there's no point in possessing it, and you can drive as many cars as you want.
Yeah, of course.
So I get shocked, especially because you speak to a lot of guys. You find guys that say they're car lovers, but they've driven one car in the last month.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you don't love cars then, right? But the way it started for me is that I was hosting on Airbnb. And as soon as I got the taste of using an asset that you don't have to pay for, you have other people paying for, I was like, I'm sold on this idea.
Sense.
Yeah, and that's
so what car are you driving now, actually?
Yeah, so right now I have two cars. I have three cars. I have a Porsche 718 Cayman S. That's my personal car. I have the new X3 2025. Just love that car. The previous one, and the improvements are just so dope. And I have an i10 that we roll around. But we're riding the i10 a lot more now because the cars are always booked, right?
Oh yeah,
Which is crazy.
So let's say, on the X3, for example, in the last month, how many days was booked?
So funny enough, I just got the X3 back end of last month. Intentionally. Because it's been gone for the last 2 months, and my wife was like, yo, bro, where's the car? Right? Yeah. So that car goes out all the time. We actually always have someone willing to rent out that car. I even tell friends, if you're gonna buy a car that you'll enjoy and still make money from, the X3 is a good bet. Yeah, because that goes out almost all the month. And then with the Porsche,
So just to stop you there, just as an example, from the X3 being rented out for a month, how much on average do you make from that?
So the X3, we've listed it, usually it's like 4.5 a day. But the more you rent it out, the cheaper it gets. So for this last rental last month, that was 60K.
That's what you earned?
That's what the platform made, then less 15%, that's what we made personally.
So I'm asking, so as a person who would share on your platform, what would be the direct amount that they take into their pockets?
Cool, so we take a 15% take rate, right? From your daily rate, we take 15% from you, and then there's an insurance amount there. So that's what you earn. So the insurance is broken down into tiers, basically based on the car value. So for a car, the value of the X3, which is 1.2 million, you pay 1,000 Rand per day for insurance. So when we rent it out, if we rent it out for 4.5, we get 4.5 minus 1,000 for insurance, 3.5, then the 15% take rate. So that's how it works. But for me, it's different because I've just insured my cars to be rented out all month. So I'm on a commercial policy. So that 1,000 Rand doesn't get deducted daily. We just pay for insurance the entire month. So depending on what kind of renter you are, because now we've started working with dealerships, rental companies, they have their own commercial insurance. We just take the 15%. But as an individual, we take the 15%, and then we also take the insurance cut, which we pay over to the insurance. Because obviously this is a very, very different sort of insurance from anything that's been done before. These guys are insuring the car from the day it's rented out until the day it's given back. So you don't have to change your personal policy, you don't have to do anything. You just list the car, we rent it out. When it's rented out, the insurance is paid for before you get your money. So you're never paying out of pocket for the additional insurance. So yeah, for the
very cool concept,
For the X3, I think the total take was like 48,000 Rand. That covers more than 2 months of installment.
Of course.
Which is ridiculous.
Excellent.
Right?
And then how much mileage on average are the guys putting onto your cars?
So the platform, the way it works, everything is set by you as the owner. We give guidance when you want to. So we have a rule of thumb to say list your car for around the value of the car divided by 200. That's your daily rate, right? Rule of thumb, it obviously changes basically based on the rarity of the car, etc., etc. And then similarly, with the daily allowable mileage, you set that. So for the X3, because it's an SUV, I set it at 200 Ks allowable per day. But because of the Porsche, because the value is so mileage sensitive, we do it at 150.
Okay.
Then we have some cars now, like a McLaren we've gotten from our partners here at Grandeur Auto, that would be 100.
Yeah.
You know. Then you also put in
limited,
you put in the additional charge per mile exceeded. So with the people that actually rented my X3, the month before they had a conference in Durban and there were no flights. So they drove the car to Durban, they exceeded the mileage, so they paid 15 Rand per extra kilometer, which basically covers that downside.
Okay.
So everything's considered, and it's almost, we like to think of it as a free market, right?
Yeah, of course.
You list for the price you want, you know the value of your car, you know how mileage sensitive you are. If somebody doesn't want to rent your car, they'll rent my car.
Yeah.
If my car is cheaper or I'm charging less, right?
No, that's good. Okay. Yeah. And how have you been enjoying this so far, like compared to moving from engineering?
Dude, it's night and day. So I'll actually walk you through the journey, right? So did engineering, and I really wanted to leave, right? That's like, I think sometimes I'd see you and I was like, bro, this guy is living the dream. And you'd ask me, hey, bro, are there any engineering opportunities just for me to like practice my skills? I was like, bro, don't go there. So I left engineering intentionally and I wanted to move into either management consulting or tech. So I got a tech opportunity at the e-hailing company Bolt, right?
Yes.
So it kind of came full circle because I was hosting on Airbnb and I wanted to monetize more than my property. I wanted to monetize my cars, but I didn't know how to. So I took all that Airbnb knowledge and basically through working for Bolt, I just learned how to vet cars, vet drivers. It all came together. So it's basically an idea that went from Airbnb, but for cars. So leaving engineering, when I went into tech, enjoyed that much more. And I just saw that, you know, there's just a big opportunity for transport in South Africa, right? So as I was going on, I was enjoying my job, but I was like, look, man, I have so many ideas for this stuff, for this field. I also understand uniquely how South Africa is shaped. You know, Airbnb for cars could fly here. Nobody has done it right. And just to segue, or just to...
Are there any other competitors in the market at the moment?
Great point. So the reason we are a luxury platform, right, is because in my opinion, economy has almost been solved, right? The way a rental company, the most famous one would be an Avis. The way they make their money, they buy in bulk, get really good deals, rent out the cars, put a bit of mileage in it, but the car is brand new and it's rented out. The price is affordable. You can't beat that, right? And then when they're done with the car, they auction it off and make a profit. Yeah. So if you're trying to compete with them, you're trying to take my Polo. You know, I've been driving it the entire time. It's not in perfect shape. So that doesn't quite work, their strategy for luxury cars. So there are competitors in the market. They do economy, they do everything else. We are specifically focused on premium luxury and exotic cars because we believe that's where the gap is. That's what you can't fulfill with a traditional rental company. Yes. When they want to rent you out a G-Wagon, you have to go to the airport. Just driving from here to the airport, you've passed 20 idle G-Wagons. The owners are just chilling, they're on holiday, they would happily rent it out to you with the right protections, right? So that's been our gap in the market. We're pioneering in the luxury space, exotic space.
So from the time you started, how many cars do you have on your platform now?
So we exceeded 100 cars 2.5 weeks ago.
Okay, you got 100 cars on the platform?
On the platform, which was a huge milestone. A lot of people said, hey, nobody has money.
So from the 100 cars, how many were in use? So how many were getting rented out?
So on average, we have about 11 cars out at any given time. Okay. Yeah, so cars, so we like rent out maybe like 3 cars today, but we already have like 4 out, some would come in. An average current, we have like 11 cars out at a time, which is healthy, but it's growing. This is also with limited marketing. We're trying to test out the environment, keep our claims low, etc., etc. So it's only gonna get bigger from here. The demand is growing rapidly. The number of cars that are coming on are growing rapidly, so it looks pretty good. Okay. But to answer your first question, it's much more fun than engineering, bro. It's much more fun than engineering. I mean, you would know best, just dealing with cars,
No. Dealing with cars is not the problem. Let me tell you, dealing with people
is the problem.
So
yeah, we get a lot of those as well. Guys that just don't understand, bro. Yeah, but I can always call on you for that. Yeah.
No, that's cool. So let's have a chat here so quickly. So I want to ask you, so from all the cars you've been with at the moment, what would you say is your favorite car at the moment?
My favorite car? Oh yeah, funny enough, because I'm a big fan of your channel. It's also the M2, bro.
Really?
G87 M2. Dude.
Oh, we don't actually have one here today.
Yeah. Every time my car is rented out, let's say for a week, that weekend I'll rent the G87.
Oh, because you have a red one on the platform.
Yeah, so I'll rent that car. That's the one I rent out the most. So I don't mind not having a car during the week. So I love it when people take the car for the whole week. But on the weekend, then I'll rent the G87. That's my favorite car at the moment. I also like the F87, funny enough. So I'd like alternate between them. But the G87 is my absolute favorite car, bro. Okay. And this also goes a lot.
V-Class,
I also rent this.
Have you got V-Class on the platform?
Yeah, we've got a couple. I think we've got 4 V-Classes. There are a few platforms that do self-drive on V-Classes, but I think one of the guys that do it the best because we've got such a good vetting system. Right? A lot of guys rent out V-Classes and they rent it out to people that they know personally. I always tell guys, that's not an indicator of whether someone is a good client. Like knowing me personally, you don't know my driving records, you don't even know if my license is expired, you don't know nothing about me, right?
So you see, if you brought your X3 here before renting it out, we could have covered it in PPF. So this whole car is done in PPF. The car was actually gloss. We've converted it to a matte PPF. So obviously different options, but just protection, keep it looking good, get it done for a little bit longer. Bro. It's probably our most popular service at the moment. And
it's smooth. After your magnetic plates, I've had like 3 of those.
So very popular, very common, happens all the time. So how would you say now, like if I was looking at your platform, how does it benefit me the most?
So, when we went into the business, we thought we have to teach people and educate, show them, hey, you can rent your car, make money. But when we actually got on the ground and started talking to people, we realized people have been doing this, but they've been doing it wrong. So what you see is guys have had their cars stolen. Guys have had their cars get into accidents and not be covered. And some guys just sit on the car, don't know how to start, right? So we offer basically four basic things. We offer the vetting and verification. So we have a digital platform that we've plugged into that would run your face against Home Affairs, run your documents against Home Affairs, run your passport against the issuing country, and then put your face to the document to make sure that you're actually the person submitting the document, right? Then we also do your credit scoring to check if you can buy the car, because if something happens, we want to see that we've given the car to a guy that can afford to, can cover the excess, can cover the deposits, etc., etc. And then from there, we do payments. So through that Airbnb experience, what I really realized worked for Airbnb, and when I look back at the history, is that they've mastered how to do payments. They collect from the renter, and then they hold the money until you guys do the transaction, until somebody gains access to the apartment.
So hold in escrow,
Exactly. Then they release it. So we do exactly that for cars, which people haven't been doing. So nobody knows when to pay each other when I borrow a car. They don't know how to ask each other for the price, etc., etc. So that's very important that we can hold that money and we can do that whole transaction like that. Then we do insurance. Insurance is a real
that's the main thing.
Deal breaker exactly for people. I remember when we were starting, talking to people on the road, they're like, dude, what about insurance? What about insurance? So we've now figured out insurance, and it's on-demand insurance. So literally, you can keep your personal insurance when you rent the car out. From the day you start renting it out until the day it comes back, it's insured only for those days. And you don't pay for that out of pocket, you pay for it through your take from that. So with those 3 things, plus the marketing, that's basically what we offer, right? And that was the blockers in anybody renting out their car. I've spoken to Uber drivers, Uber black drivers that wait for a trip for 4 hours, and they're like, dude, I'd happily be chilling with my wife, but I don't want to lose my car if it gets in an accident. I want to know who I'm giving it to. And we basically solve for those things, and then you just sit home and make money, man. We have cars that earn more than lawyers and doctors, right? It's crazy.
It's madness,
It's crazy.
So if you guys want to check out their platform, it's CarShareNova. You can see it on the t-shirt. We'll put up a link in the video. And then let's get renting some cars, guys.
Guys.
Who wants? I was actually scrolling through the site this morning. You want a Lamborghini? They've got a Hurricane on the site. And it's not bad, guys. It's like 15 grand a day for a Hurricane.
100%.
They even have a helicopter on the site. But obviously you need a pilot's license or to hire your own pilot.
So that was actually like a business line that I was sleeping on, bro. Chauffeur trips. So we started the chauffeur side with the helicopter for the matric farewells. That's been really flying. No pun intended. So you can hire self-drive, you can do chauffeur trips. And what we've actually seen is that what we're basically doing, we're decentralizing car rental. You know, the government spends so much on with the big guys to rent out cars for their employees, for this and this, and we don't get a piece of it, right? You could have a V-Class sitting at home that you could rent out for that government gig, but you need all those things,
the insurance,
the vetting. So we're decentralizing car rental, giving it back to the people, giving people access, and you know, we're disrupting ownership. Because literally, why would you drive one car for 6 years?
Nah.
You know, it doesn't make sense, bro.
Okay.
So yeah, guys, if you want to know more, come to Carbon Bros as well. He knows a lot about the company, and we'll be hanging out here because you know the collab is going to be ongoing. But yeah, thanks for the opportunity, Ash. I'm really a fan, especially of the YouTube channel, bro. Look at us now, YouTubers, car guys. Who would have thought? Our lecturers would have never thought.
Never. Cool.
Yeah, but it's great, man. Thanks so
for
much for having us, man.
Sure.